In this tutorial, we are going to add the hole for the servo motor to go into off of this part right here. So we're going to highlight it, and then we're going to go back to 2D Sketch, and you're probably getting used to this by now. And I'm just going to zoom in a tiny bit so I can work a bit closer. And I'm just going to start with a rectangle. We'll find center like that, put my rectangle in, go to dimension right away. I'm going to dimension from the center over the side right away. So we actually have that, and that should be 1 inch because it's half of 2. And then I'm going to dimension this height, and this height here should be 0.5. And then the dimension of this here should be 0.95. And then the height from right here to allow for this, basically for later on for the batteries to sit underneath, this is going to be I don't know, let's make it at 0.8. Okay, so there's 0.8. We got the height up there. Okay, so that part's done. Now what we're going to do is add the holes for the screws so that we can actually screw the servo in. So I'm just going to go to circle. And again, if I go slowly, you can see it lines up centered. Put a circle in there. Go to dimension right away. This circle here this time round is going to be 0.08. That's so the screw can bite into it. And then the distance from the center to the center of the circle, which is kind of important. Okay, that distance there is going to be 0.55. So that's now from that's one screw hole. Now I could draw the circle again and dimension everything, but I think it's a lot quicker just to draw a line. So we just draw a line from the center like this. Okay, and I'm going to right mouse click and hit OK, and then go back to pattern and mirror, select my circle, hit mirror line, select my mirror line, hit apply, and there's my circle, and we're done. Okay, so there's those bits done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add down the bottom here, just, if I 3D print this, it just takes longer, so I'm going to hollow this out a bit. So again, I'm just going to line up to center, and let's just kind of go like this, and we'll just take a chunk out for something to do, just to make it a bit easier. So what I'm going to do is from dimension it now, and I'm going to go dimension from, let's just zoom up so I make sure you know where I'm dimensioning from, this line here to that line there. And all I'm going to do is take that and say, well, I want it, I don't know, 0.6, doesn't really matter. Okay, and then from the center, and you can see how it's off center now, right? So now we got to do a little bit of math here. So if I take the line, dimension, and I dimension from here out to here, that should be 1. So we're just going to change that back to 1, which will put it back to center. Okay, and then let's just leave it there. The actual distance out really doesn't matter. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to curve or fillet these edges. So I'm just going to fillet. I'm going to grab that edge, and you can see I've already defaulted it to 0.75. And then I'm just going to grab this edge and this edge. You can see what happens. It's kind of funny looking, right? So I'm just going to Control Z and Control Z to get rid of those. And this time around when I go fillet, instead of 0.75, I'm going to change it to 0.5. Okay, and then when I fillet it now, let's go back to fillet. It's 0.5 now. There we go. Fillet it to there, and then fillet it there to there. Okay, there's that kind of nice little curve. Let's just go back to the right so we can see it, what it looks like. Okay, so there we go. I think I'm happy with that. We're going to hit Finish Sketch. And of course, next is just extrude it, right? Which you've done now a couple times. So we click on Extrude. I want that there. Oops, I'm going to have to get that one in there. I'm going to get that one there. And I got to make sure I get it right. And it's kind of hard to, here, let's zoom out here for a second. There we go, go from the underside like that. There, come on. There we go. Okay. Now it's all that direction, so what we're going to do is going to go to next. We're just going to put it back the other way and automatically put cut through it, so there's everything cut out. Click on OK, and there we officially have the mount that we're going to use for, there's a problem. You can see what happened there, right? So that's not good. So now what are we going to do? Well, I guess what we can do is we can go back into that sketch. So we're going to go to Extrude, and we're going to go Sketch. So if this happened to you, what we're going to do is we're going to edit the sketch. Okay, and then I'm actually going to go, instead of the right this time, I'm going to go from the back so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, and oops, I guess I can't. I guess I got to go back to the front. Okay, and we're going to have to take this, and I'm in the sketch. And let's see if I can get this actual sketch here. Let's just take it and let's just delete these parts. Yes, here we'll mess you up here. So what we're doing is just deleting everything off, and then there's nothing left. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the right. Okay, and this time around what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my rectangle starts actually on the bottom. Okay, and that's the wrong rectangle. Right mouse click, hit cancel. So let's try that again. Instead of that rectangle, we're going to take a 2-point rectangle. And there we go. I'm going to start like that. Go there. So you can see how you can just go back and modify stuff afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to dimension again off the center from there to there. Make sure that's 1, which it is. Okay, oh, it already exists, so let's just take this dimension. That's fine. Okay, and then the dimension like this, over here to here. I'm going to say that's what did I say, 0.8? No, that was supposed to be 0.6. Okay, so 0.6. And then what I can do then is just go back to my fillet. And you can see how you can modify stuff afterwards. So we're just going to fillet it there to there, there to there. Okay, and we're going to click finish. Again, I don't know if this happened to you, but there you go, and you don't even have to go and extrude it anymore, right? It automatically just fixes it up like that because you've already extruded stuff. So you can always go back and modify stuff at any point in time. Kind of a cool exercise there to learn. So that concludes the tutorial for making the spot for the servo motor to go into, and I'm going to end it there.